I'm up in Arkansas, hopefully catching a flight. There's a lot of weather. Flight's already been delayed. I'm hoping to make it back to Dallas-Fort Worth at some point tonight. But I was up here, I got to testify on a 10 Commandment bill in the House in one of their committees. But I also got to be here to go over to the Senate. I got to sit up in the gallery as the civics education bill passed in the Senate. It's passed in the House and the Senate. They referred to it as the Founding Father bill because it is going to require students to actually go back and not just do things like read the Declaration, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, although that's really important, and they will and they should, but it's actually introducing questions to students where they need to learn, where do the Founding Fathers come up with these ideas? Where did they come up with the ideas like the laws of nature and nature's God? Where do they come up with this idea that there's a divine creator and he's given us rights and government exists to protect those rights? Where do they come up with the idea from the Bill of Rights, this notion that we should be protecting individuals' rights of conscience, which is religious liberty, or their freedom of speech? And so it's having them dig deeper, not just to see what we do in America, but understand why we do it. A really incredible bill. And then, as mentioned, being up here to testify on a 10 Commandment bill, one of the things that we recognize is there's a lot of pushback at times from certain religious leaders that say, well, we shouldn't have religion in school, and well, it's not the government's job to force morality on students. And it's really short-sighted, especially when it comes from representatives, from legislators, when they suggest, well, government shouldn't impose morality on students. Do you understand every law you pass is somebody's view of morality? You think something is right or wrong, that's why you pass a law. So the idea that we can't legislate morality, that's literally your entire job. The reason that we have laws against things that we think are immoral or theft or where they lack integrity, literally, that this is the entire job. And the Founding Fathers understood the greatest example of morals are those found in Scripture. Specifically, they refer to the Decalogue, which is the 10 Commandments. So I got to testify on the history and tradition of the 10 Commandments being utilized in education, being promoted by the Founding Fathers. And really, it wasn't until 1980 that the Supreme Court said we can no longer use the 10 Commandments as an educational resource or even as an art display in schools. It was too offensive, had to come down. But the decision that led to the Supreme Court doing that, they based it on a Lemon case that's been overturned, so it's all back on the table. You guys probably know this by now, but it's really cool to be able to go to these states to share the history and tradition of what our nation really was built on, what the Founding Fathers really believed, where those ideas came from. And then, of course, I brought some artifacts with me, so I got to show those. Just want you to know there's some really good things happening. Today happens to be in Arkansas.